Good evening, everybody. Listen, I just wanted to show you what I just bought. And you're thinking, Miss Brenda, why did you buy that big piece of meat? Look at this. How tall is it? Almost comes from my head to my waist. This is a pork loin. No bone, just meat. On this side, you have a little bit of fat. Other than that, it's solid meat. Some people call it the white man's, let's see, what do they call it? The other white meat. That's what they call it, the other white meat. In other words, chicken is the other one. And this is the other one. So you got chicken and pork. It's the other white meat. There you go. There you go. But anyway, the reason I want to show it to you is I'm going to cook this. You can cut it up into pork chops. And they'll be boneless pork chops. They'll be so good. And I just wanted you to see it. And I also wanted you to know that the cost for this big piece of meat, I'm just going to let you guess what you think it might cost. You got your number in your head? All right, it is $1.69 per pound. Now, you know, I've been talking for weeks, if not months, I guess it's been months, on how to be conservative, how to cook for your family a good meal now. I mean, we're not sacrificing anything. You're cooking a good meal for less money. You are going to have your staples in your house and then buy a meat or a vegetable or whatever like that to go with it. Or do the dried beans or whatever you've got to do to do that. So if y'all will come over here, what I'm going to do tonight for supper, it's just me here tonight. So what I'm going to do, if I can find my knife, here it is over here in the dishwater. Hadn't even washed it. I'm just going to cut me off one pork chop tonight. That's all I'm cutting because I've saved the rest of it to cook maybe for Sunday. So I'm just going to cut a pork chop off for me. I think let me cut it right here too. Wait a minute. I think this will do better. Wait just a second. Let me get the wrapper off. These are kind of vacuum packed a little bit. But I fry these all the time for pork chops. And you just go cut off however thick you want it. Okay, I'm gonna cut mine about that thick. And that's gonna be my pork chop for tonight. And I'm gonna cook me one squash with it. So I'm gonna have a squash and that's it. Okay? So I'll be back in a minute when I get set up. Okay, I'm ready to cook. All right, so what I've got me a little olive oil. I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in this skillet for my pork chop and a little bit of this one in here for I believe this skillet's a little bigger. Let's see what it is. That's the same size. I love these little skillets for when you're just cooking for yourself. Now I get out in the big ones when I'm cooking for somebody else. All right, so on this pork chop right here, well, it's a pork loin chop is actually what it's called. So if you're in there and you see a package that says pork loin chop, what that is that big old piece of meat, and they cut it up for you. But I always just buy the big old piece of meat, then I do it like I want to, as thick as I want to and all that. And don't cook this thing to death now. All right, I'm just gonna put him in right here. Let him start cooking. And then rinse my hands off real quick. I'm coming right back to you. Okay, now I'm going to put my squash in here, and I'm just going to kind of like stir fry it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of stir fry it a little bit. And this one squash is going to be plenty for me because it is a big one. Remember, when you're buying squash, buy the ones that are light yellow. If you buy the dark ones, they're going to be tough. The skin is going to be tough. Okay? Turn that down. After I talked to y'all, I thought, you know what? I'm going to want an onion with my squash. So I just peeled me a small one. I'm going to put it in there with it. Let it stir fry too. That way we'll have it ready. Okay. Might need a top on that. I'm not going to put any salt or pepper on my squash until it starts to get done, because salt pulls water out of vegetables, and I don't want it to be watery. I want it to be a little more crispy, okay? That's what I'm going to do. Anyway, when I went shopping today, I bought some new pillows, bed pillows, and then grocery store stuff, and I found me a pair of green blue jeans. They're blue jeans, but they're green, and I like them. I didn't try them on. I just looked at the size and hoped that they'd fit. I don't know if y'all are like me or not, but I absolutely hate to have to take off my clothes and try on clothes in a store. I don't like it. I'm not into that. I'd rather just bring it home and hope that it fits. And if it doesn't fit, I'll see if I can't find somebody it will fit. You know, I've got clothes hanging back there in my closet that I keep thinking I'm going to get back into. But this part right here won't let them get back into those clothes that I got in my closet. I need to go ahead and give them to somebody, because I keep thinking that maybe I'll lose some weight or I'll get back in them. I'm not going to. I might as well just get rid of them. Doesn't this look good, this squash? There you go. And I'm just going to cook it until it starts browning up a little bit. It'll be kind of crunchy done. So what did y'all do today? Look at I look like I don't know what, with sandals on and socks. But this morning when I got up, I put on my sandals because it was hot. And then as the day went on, it got colder. So now it's cold. It's supposed to be in the 40s tonight. But that's not too cold. I'm going to leave my plants outside. They're just going to have to survive on their own. I'm going to put a little garlic on my meat at the very last. Do a garlic powder, but you don't want to put garlic on something when you're frying it too early, because garlic burns easily. So you just kind of need to wait a little bit on that. Well, I had somebody to write in today, and they said, Miss Brenda, I want you to, once a week, do a children's cooking show for them. But y'all, I don't know if I can do that or not. I'm pushed for time as it is, trying to get everything in that I want to get in for y'all. But that was a good thought, and I appreciate all of your comments. Maybe I can talk to the children a little bit as I'm talking to y'all. Maybe we can do that. We'll see. There's my, well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. One end of this pork chop is a little thicker than the other one, so I'm fixing to cut it. I'm going to cut it a little bit. I'm going to butterfly it and flip it over so it makes sure it gets done on the inside. There we go. And it doesn't hurt to use the same spoon when you're doing that and this. It's all going to be fine. We're not going to get poisoning from it. Look at that, how good that looks. See that brown on there? Squash have a really sweet taste. It's just about ready. Yep, it's just about ready. Get me out of plate. All right, now I'm going to add a little salt and pepper to the squash since they're about ready. It'll come out. There we go. When my mama I just dropped my pepper, some came out. When my mama would drop some salt or steel salt, she'd do like this. She'd get some and throw it over her left shoulder. She's afraid it would be bad luck if she did. And I said, Mama, you know that isn't so. She said, well, everybody always told me that, and I'm afraid not to do it. All right, put a little garlic on that. All right, I think it's ready. Look at that, how nice and brown it is. Let me look in the refrigerator. There's one more thing I want to get out. Y'all can see what else it is that I think I'm going to eat tonight. If I can find it. Here it is. Y'all probably just think I'm nuts for eating this. Well, I may not eat it. I can't get into it. Let's see what we can do with this thing. There we go. Lord have mercy. That was hard. These are pickled beets. Pickled baby beets. All right, let's get our stuff on our plate right here. We'll put it right here where y'all can see what we're doing. Okay, there's our squash. Ooh, that made a lot. Here's our meat, our pork, now I'm going to get me some pickled beets to put on this, and I'll show y'all how my plate's going to look. Now, wasn't that easy and quick? See that pickled beet? We'll put him right there. Let's see, that might be the only one. No, here's another one. I've about eaten them up. All right, that's it. Here's my supper. Pickled beets, stir-fried squash and onions, and a piece of pork loin. We'll get me a knife and a fork, and I'm going to eat my supper. Y'all have a nice night tonight. I hope the sheets feel good to you tonight. I'm going to wash mine tomorrow, I think. They need it. And I guess I'll have to put the cover back on my bed. I took it off because last night I got hot And now tonight it turned out cold, so I guess I'll put the cover back on it. I don't know. But anyway, y'all have a good night. Love you. Don't forget to say your prayers. He's listening. Bye-bye.